Hi everyone, this is Jenny and a Q&A has been long overdue, so here it is today. I've asked for your questions here on YouTube and on Instagram as well, and we're going to, start right away with your questions from YouTube. And the first one goes, when you are planning a trip, assuming you're not traveling with your entire collection, how many watches do you normally travel with and how do you choose which ones you bring with you? To be honest, it makes sense not to bring the entire collection. That would be just overkill. I usually travel with no more than two, if there are even two. And how do I choose which ones to bring? I guess the same as I choose what watch to wear every day. So I'm just thinking about what I'm going to do, how I'm going to look, if it works with my outfit or not. And yeah, that's basically how I decide that. To be honest, most of the time I go with my candy pink. That's like my standard go-to, especially when traveling. And then I'll just add another watch to like mix it up, and maybe if I need something more robust, I get like a quartz watch out, or you get the gist. But yeah, that's how I choose basically. Would you recommend having watches serviced if the movement is basically disposable or easy to replace? For example, the 4R35. Why or why not? How often, or might a pressure test be sufficient every few years? I am not an expert on movements. I also have only brought in one of my watches, not really to service, but to like get it repaired. It was my Rolex Datejust. So I would probably not be the best to ask for that advice. I would say, just like from reading this, my first thought or instinct would be I wouldn't just replace the entire movement. I would get it fixed, especially if it is a movement that is like easily fixable, something that is quite basic, like a standard Seiko movement, for example. I don't know. I don't think it's very sustainable to get an entirely new movement every time you want to service it. I don't know, how often would you want to service it anyways? Is it worth replacing the entire thing? No, I think the cost would be quite okay compared to like higher end luxury watches that notoriously cost a lot in terms of servicing, like AP watches, for example. A pressure test might be sufficient. Yeah, that doesn't hurt. I guess, I would be the person to only bring in my watch if I would notice something wrong about it. Might not be the best advice, but that's how I would do it, and that's honestly how I would recommend it as well. But you guys in the comments, let me know if you've got a better idea. Please help us out here in the comments. I would very much appreciate it. So if you hadn't developed an interest in watches, what might have been your choice for a YouTube channel topic? I love your channel and content. Thank you so much for your work. Thank you. There are probably like two things that I would have done or still might be doing. I don't know what the future brings. If it weren't for watches, I would either do something gaming related. You guys, I've just started my Twitch. If you want to come join me, it's Jenny L on Twitch, just like here on YouTube. Come say hi. We're currently playing lots of Elden Ring and League. So yeah, that would be like a gaming channel. Or perhaps I would also very much like to, that's just stuff I watch myself, are like movie or show analysis type of videos. Maybe like something artsy as well. That could be something I could very well picture myself in. So that would be a fun choice. But yeah, make sure to check out my Twitch channel. The next up is my thoughts on Tudor's new Pro series. Personally, I'm hoping they start doing different dial colors. A polar dial like on the Explorer would be nice to see. You guys, if I'm being honest, I think the Pro series is okay. I am not the big... Here's the thing. I'm not overly hyped about it, but I'm not disliking it either. It's just not my cup of tea. I am very much not into field watches. That's just not my cup of tea. How do you say that without offending people? Obviously you can wear whatever you want. They're just very meh to me. Very standard. I'm happy for the Tudor fan base because I know that is exactly what so many people wanted from Tudor, and they're getting it, which is amazing. It is a chunky boy, the new Tudor Black Bay Pro. But that's kind of a Tudor thing, isn't it? To come out with, a bit chunkier tool watches that are still very much elegant and sleek if they want to. So again, Tudor just is heading into the right direction on and on again. And I'm very curious to see what else they're going to do with that series. I think a polar dial, that would be a hit with lots of people. I think that would even be a better choice than black one, but yeah, I would still not be going for this one. Not only because of the size, but also because just not a big fan of field watches. Don't hate me for this. And lots of people have been asking about my tattoo. Why did I get it? When did I get it? What's the meaning behind it? Like, what's the deal? And it's actually quite simple. There's no specific meaning attached to this. I just like the look of it. I have been looking into tattoos for quite some time. It was always something, I mean, I'm 30 years old by now. And like getting tattooed or having tattoos was always something I wanted to do. But I guess I was always just too scared. And, you know, I'm now at a time in my life where I just do not care anymore. And I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna die anyway, so I don't want to die regretting not getting one. So that's how I ended up here. And yeah, the first one, wait, let me just put that down, is this leaf thing going around. It starts like from the top of my shoulder and then just like wraps around my arm and ends at the elbow. And the placement was very much on purpose because I wanted to leave out some space for the back of my arm. We're going to get to that in a bit. But I also didn't want it to like interrupt my lower arm because there's going to be something here as well and on the other side too. So yeah, it's just a very like a fine line leaf tattoo. And the second one I got, so that one was at the beginning of February and the other one was at the end of February. So that was like back to back, was this beautiful lady. So this is my Art Nouveau inspired lady. If some of you might know the artist, he was a Czech artist. His name is Alfons Mucha. I'm a very big fan of him. I just went to see in January a exhibition of a couple of his pieces. Incredible. Just everything I love about art is in his pieces. Anyways, so this is a kind of like a mix and mash of some of his works. So the main inspo was his World Fair poster he did for Austria, but that's like her posture and everything. The head is inspired by one of his sculptures, and the gown she's wearing, so the bottom half is still very much like the one in the Austria World Fair poster, but this sort of like armor type of look on the top is from Dior's full collection from 2006. That was heavily inspired by like Art Deco and Art Nouveau. So I wanted to mix this because the original poster is a bit too much for me. And I wanted to incorporate something that is feminine, but also traditionally masculine, you know, the armor and all that stuff. And then, because her hand was like, I didn't want her to just have them empty. She is carrying 2 lilies in her hand. You know, because again, lilies have been very popular with the Art Nouveau pieces. And yeah, that is basically it. I know that was a very long-winded answer to that question, but it's something I'm really hyped about. So, and you guys wanted to know. So that is the very like average story about the situation on my arm, I guess. Okay, next up says, buy gaming or buy wearing any Rolex for a year. I mean, I have spent years not gaming and I've also spent years obviously not wearing Rolex watches. But like as of right now, I would say goodbye to Rolex for a year, and because it's just too much fun. And I do have other watches as well. So that's the first on my channel. I would say bye to Rolex. Hell froze over. Right. Okay. As a member of the Itty Bitty Wrist Committee, welcome. I'm kind of sad most highly complicated watches, for example, the Lange Zeitwerk, which I really love, are quite large. What are some awesome complicated pieces that could fit smaller wrists? Well, I mean, I agree. This is, as someone with smaller wrists, and if you are part of the Itty Bitty Wrist Committee, you will know this. I mean, you don't even have to look for complicated watches. Sometimes even like the regular stuff, you know, like a normal like date complication or just like a 3-hand standard watch can be tricky to find in your size or in your preferred size. to make it work and to make it feel comfortable on your wrist. If I'm being honest, there's really not much I can think of. Like a highly complicated but smaller watch. You have to factor in that complications do need space. I know some watchmakers made it possible to like make it really slim, like the Bulgari Octo Finissimo and their complications, but usually if you're looking for like higher complicated stuff, you will have to deal with thicker cases, larger cases to house everything. But I guess there's the Piaget Altiplano Tourbillon. I think they're pretty iced out, but that's a 39mm case. And I mean, JLC has their ultra master thin perpetual calendar in 39 or 40 as well, but boy oh boy, I mean that's about it really. Again, you guys, in the comment section down below, let me know if you know of any smaller size watches that house lots of complications, or like an interesting one besides like a date, you know. All right, okay, it is me again. For some reason, Instagram decided to no longer let me check out the questions on Instagram to my post, so I had to do another one. That's why I'm back again with a different outfit. And that first one goes, what Rolex in the modern lineup would you consider to be the most pure tool watch? I think probably the GMT. Not really sure if there's anything else I would consider like the purest tool watch. I mean, are there really tool watches anyways if it's a luxury watch? But yeah, probably the GMT. Any unpopular opinion about watches and wonders? Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, let me preface this by saying that I have not attended Watches and Wonders. So that's that. But I think it's really silly to not make it public. I mean, obviously you can't just like open the door and have everyone like rush in, but sell tickets to everyone and not exclude those people who are going to buy the watches at the end of the day. You have to be approved by the Watches and Wonders committee to enter. So you have to either be a manufacturer, like an employee for them, or from the press. And I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I would love to have an open section, like a public one. I mean, also have like the press section, that's fine, but make it public. Those are the people who are going to buy these watches, so they should see them. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I kind of think that's the sentiment for most people. And I don't know why they don't do that, because it smells very much like elitism to me, if you ask me. I mean, you did ask me, so yeah, that's my, I guess, not so unpopular opinion about Watches and Wonders. All right, and we've got least and most favorite 2020 Watches and Wonders timepiece. Do I have a least favorite? I think they were all mostly okay. I mean, I'm never a fan of a brown and black bezel, so sorry for the Tudor GMT. But it wasn't like, I can't say that's like my least favorite. My most favorite has to go to Cartier. I think they hit it out of the park. I really like the new tanks. Also very cool of Oris to come out with the Pro Pilot X in 39mm. I think that was really impressive. What else? Yeah, that was about it. There's nothing I'm really bummed about. Maybe I just can't think of it right now, but that's my take. Let me know what you think. Between your husband and yourself, who is the cook or a takeout couple? Oh my. So we definitely have our phases where we sometimes really cook a lot and together, and then neither of us can be bothered and we just live off of takeout, unfortunately. But yeah, I wouldn't consider either of us brilliant cooks, if I'm being honest. I don't really enjoy cooking. Anyways, let's get it out. Oh, from Brodinky, hi. Big fan. From the Moonswatch Parallel, who was the best sailor other than Moon? Very simple answer, it's Jupiter for me, Sailor Jupiter. Mainly because she was a brunette. I was a brunette growing up, I still am. And that's just how I related to her. I remember she was also very, like, she was a tough one, wasn't she? Sailor Jupiter. I think she was physically very strong, and that was her thing. She would also shoot out lightning or something. I haven't watched Sailor Moon in forever, so I can't remember correctly, I guess, but Sailor Jupiter. What do I think about the Tissot PRX? Good question. There's definitely going to be a review coming, so be on the lookout for that. That's where you get all the answers from me. What Swatch Group watch should get the Moon Swatch treatment next? You know what? Blancpain is in the Swatch Group. Let's Let's make a swatch 50 fathoms. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh, lol, okay, last one. Oh yeah, you send in a lot of questions. If you could be any animal, what would you be? I would be a crow. Or like any bird, really. But probably a crow, that would be nice. I just want to fly. I want to know how that feels like. And crows are savages, so I want to be a savage bird. And right, that was it. Thank you so much for sending in all of your questions. I got so many. Apologies if I cannot answer all of them. If I have not answered your question, make sure to check out my other Q&As. I might have already answered that in them. Thank you guys for the support. Also, welcome to everyone who joined the channel. Welcome. I'm very excited that you will be here. So many new people. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this Q&A, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And then I will see you in my next video. Bye.